tutorials and news updates. Drip and Geeb, they never late.
This podcast was brought to you by Uncle Geeb Productions. Well, guys, well. Welcome to the Drip Geeb Podcast. I am your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is the dopest podcast around host, that is Drip Media Gaming. Drip, let's not pretend like we didn't just hear what we just heard, but first and foremost, Drip, Happy America Day to you.
Yeah, hey.
And to everybody out there. Happy America Day. It's a lovely day to be an American because it's 4th of July.
Yay!
And if you're not in America, that's okay. We wish you a happy day anyhow. But Drip, how are you doing this week? What the hell just happened on our stream or on our podcast? What was that music?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around exactly what that is. It's so good. It's so good.
It's amazing.
My friend Matt Moran, as some of you know, we talk about him a lot on the show, actually, just made us an AI song somehow. I still don't know exactly how this happened, but it turned out pretty damn good. I mean, it's impressive how accurate it is. And I mean, some of it's kind of weird. There are certain points of it I'm like, that's
yeah. I mean, one thing,
weird.
getting my name wrong sometimes. Not
all the time. Sometimes it's right. Yeah,
I'm sure
right,
Matt put in there like
wrong.
He probably put it in like spelled with a J is my guess, or told it to pronounce it like. I'm sure there's a way to do that because the fact that it said it right at all is weird because my Geeb should not be spelled with a G. It's just like it's a whole story that if you don't know what the story is, watch my Twitch streams. I'll tell you. But I mean, it shouldn't. It's Geeb is really how you. Like, if you write that word out and pronounce it, Geeb is like the way it's supposed to be said.
I mean, that's what I used to say when we first met. And still, every time we are interacting with somebody new, it's always, oh, Geeb.
Because like the way in English, if you read that out loud, it's Geeb. But like you have to be told, like, it's Geeb. It's the whole thing. Sorry. But anyhow, that was bizarre. It was awesome, though. So glad Matt made that for us. Like, literally,
cool.
Spur of the moment thing he just sent to us, like, literally 5 minutes ago, real time, as of recording this episode. And we were like, we need to put this in the show. So
I fucking love it. I'm not gonna lie. I love it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be listening to that in the car, just going down the street.
Dripping Geeb rolling down the street.
Yep. Just me listening to my own theme song.
Playing something fun.
I'm going to start playing it when I walk in the store. I'm just going to take a little Bluetooth speaker with me and toss it in before I go.
Spit some fire up, like LeBron James powder. Like
walk in like slow motion, taking the sunglasses off,
Yeah.
Everywhere I go.
Well, we swear, guys, this is a Nintendo podcast. And actually, I forgot to do something real quick. But I'm going to look up the 5-star review of the week. Because we do that every week, and Drip, tell the people why we read off a 5-star review every week.
Well, there are several reasons, Geeb. One, because we want people to leave 5-star reviews, so Apple will push us. But the second reason we read them is so you will want to go leave them and win a $50 eShop gift card.
Hey, $50 eShop gift card. That is correct.
When are we going to be announcing that? When you're here, right?
When
so
I'm
a couple
there.
more weeks.
So that'll be
the second one. This is the second one we're giving away. All you got to do is leave a 5-star review on Apple, and you're entered. Even if you don't win this time, as long as you have left one, you are entered.
That is correct.
So you can go, make several accounts, make several Apple accounts, go leave reviews. You'll be entered more than once. Cheat. Definitely cheat.
July 31st is the day that we give it away. I'll be at Drip's house. This won't be split screen. It'll be full screen. Drip and I
at this desk
in the same room together with that desk, or probably with these microphones.
Yes. That's what we did last time, right?
Yeah, it worked fine. Yeah. So that's probably what's going to happen, guys. So again, July 31st, we're going to be giving away our $50 eShop gift card. Make sure to get all of your entries in before then to qualify. We do have a few here, actually. I'm having a hard time. Looks like we got a bunch that popped in. So I got to pick one of these. I guess they all been here already. There's no dates on them. It's very bizarre. Oh yeah, there's dates. I'm an idiot. I can read.
I was gonna say, I know there's dates.
Okay, I just gotta pick one. So here we go. This is from user 298873383736447176. I almost got it perfectly the first time. From that user, that I read it verbatim. Would definitely recommend, but not worth the price of my pinky. Great podcast to listen to in the background. My favorite source of information. This podcast is a great way to This is a great way to delve deeper into news in a fun way. Hope you do more collabs like your last episode. It was great way to increase viewership and change up the episode. But I want my finger back, and I am withdrawing my payment of my pinky. You may not have it anymore. Thank you, random person, totally not named John Ebo, for leaving that 5-star review. You may not have your pinky back, but we do appreciate you creating a whole random account for this review. That's what we told you guys to do. We told you.
Just do it.
Make multiple accounts. Listen, spam. Actually, don't do what he did with the random numbers. I feel like we get like in trouble for that somehow. Like it almost as if we're paying for bots to review our podcast. But yes, guys, leave your 5-star review. Thank you. User 298873838736471176 for leaving your 5-star review. We'll read another one for next week. Drip.
Sick.
Drip.
It's a good one.
Drip. This podcast, I feel like because we're a day late on this show, as you guys probably can tell if you're listening to this show when it's supposed to come out. We're a day late. Drip had band practice yesterday. I had fireworks to attend that Miss Geeb usually attend to every year. And actually, there's fireworks again tonight that we chose not to go to because of this podcast. So, we're going to skip it another day, Drip. So here we are watching this podcast, or excuse me, not watching. We're recording this podcast live. And we have, I'm going to be honest, it's not the fastest week in the world. This is not
a lot going on.
Not a ton going on this week as far as, the breaking stuff and the popular Nintendo stuff. But we have a show for you guys. We put something together, and we're going to start off with the MIG Switch. If you guys haven't heard, actually, let me go backwards. Drip and I made an episode, what was that, like a month ago, about the MIG Switch?
Yeah, we talked about it. I made a video about it, too, like the next day.
Yeah, people hated you for it.
They did. Man, I got a lot of shit in the comment section of that video. A lot.
Yes.
But guess what? Guess what?
What happened, Drip?
Exactly what the fuck I said would happen. Nintendo's going to sue the hell out of these people. That's what they're doing.
That is correct.
Of course.
Nintendo of America has sued not MIG Switch.
Right.
They have sued a distributor who has been two distributors who've been working in the U.S. to distribute the MIG Switch to Americans. Yeah, that's a lawsuit
really
happening
quickly,
right
if
now.
you don't know what the MIG Switch is,
Yes.
It's basically the size of a Nintendo Switch cartridge, and you put a micro SD card in the side of it, and you can basically dump all of your Switch ROMs onto that SD card, and then it'll read them through that thing.
Technically, legally. It's all technically
if you own
legal.
the game. They've got a little dumper, so you can dump the games, which, from what I'm seeing now, works sometimes and doesn't work sometimes.
You mean the product isn't that good and not well thought out and just kind of sucks a little bit? You mean to tell me that
I saw a
it's
bunch
not
of other
the
people
perfect
saying,
device?
"Oh, you don't even need the dumper. You don't even need the dumper. You can do it." Like, dude, go try to find the ROMs that actually work without the dumper. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. All of this is
Right. I mean,
it's not done well.
We did a whole. If you guys want, there's a whole episode that we did that maybe we'll actually link at the end of this podcast. If you're on YouTube, maybe I'll put that podcast specifically at the end of this one, just so you guys can check it out there. Maybe I'll put one of those eye things that in the corner of the screen, right about here. Maybe I'll do that too. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But again, we did an episode on it, so make sure to go back in your podcast feed and find the MIG Switch episode where we talk a lot about that situation. But this situation is different. This is where there's actual lawsuits now. And again, it's not MIG Switch itself. However, this is a big deal because if you didn't know, guys, this is America Day. After all, America is a big market, and if you're not able to sell your gaming product in one of the bigger gaming markets in the world, that's a problem. And it's not MIG Switch, but it's the distributors, meaning the companies who are selling this product are now being sued and not able to sell the product currently in this country, which is a big hit to MIG Switch. Drip.
It's massive. Well, there's more stuff going on than that. But let me ask you this. What what did you think was going to happen to these companies? I saw so many people saying, "Oh, Nintendo doesn't care about this. It's, they can't do anything about it." It's like, when is the last time you've seen something this big that involves Nintendo IPs, their properties, and them not doing something about it? When's the last time that's happened?
I can't. I mean, they even do petty stuff, man. Like we did,
like the littlest things. Yeah,
we did an episode. What was it? It was like maybe a couple months ago, actually. But it was about Gary's mod and how that mod has been existing. Not just Nintendo assets in there and Gary's mod, but a lot of other companies as well that nobody has sued that I know of until Nintendo recently. And that's a mod that's been available for that game for years, actually decades. A couple decades that game has been available. And Nintendo just recently decided to sue them for the most pettiest of stuff, like just the most basic Nintendo assets that everybody had. It's just like so silly.
Nintendo ninjas are
15,
everywhere.
Yes.
They're everywhere. They're watching. They've got little teddy bears with cameras in them in your bedroom. Well, they're everywhere.
I wonder if the Nintendo ninjas are on Reddit, which I guarantee they are. But we're actually going to read.
Of course they are. They're everywhere.
We're going to read a little statement that I believe this is from MIG Switch himself from Reddit. And credit to Hero of Time, one of our listeners, Brett. Thank you, man, for sending this over to us.
Definitely appreciate it.
I'm gonna do my best to read this quote. It's a long quote, and I guess white on black is not best for my eyes as far as my dyslexia. But we're gonna do it our best shot here. It's a long, big quote, so we're just gonna get through it together, guys. First, we are not warned or had any chance to answer and defend our products, or at least the simple fact that whenever the complaints. Oh, sorry. Also, my side note, this is bad English too, because I think it's like translation from Russian, so it's slightly wrong. So sorry. Whatever the complaint is, it only applies to a few countries, and in no way allows us to take down the domain for all of our users in the world. I'm gonna skip that. It's irrelevant. We don't think so, but more than that, the .com domain is a meaningful, universal domain that is to many countries. .com domains sell products like drugs and medication, which are only legal in certain countries, or U.S. gambling. U.S. sites selling or promoting weapons, which are illegal in just about every country on planet Earth, are registered in .com. We never heard of any of them being seized, and they're operating legally in their markets. We clearly indicate that our site and our product is for legal use only in countries and jurisdictions where backing up your legally owned games is authorized. And there are many. We do not even sell our products directly from our website. And there is no copyrighted material to be found anywhere. If what we suspect is true, this is another proof of abuse and bullying from some governments and companies which think they are above the law of the world and do not respect anyone who thinks differently. So that is a comment from MIG Switch themselves, I believe, at least.
Their website's
from Reddit.
Gone.
Yeah. It's and as Hero told me, from his own opinion, highly unusual for entire domain to go down from a lawsuit. So either they were scared, and took it down, or they were forced to by Nintendo.
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
They were not forced to by the courts, because this is we're in the process of going through legal stuff, so they don't have to do anything yet until legal action is finally settled. That's not now. This is the beginnings of the court lawsuits. So it's just very interesting to see that website go down and kind of questionable stuff going. There's something questionable going on. It's almost like Nintendo threw their body weight around and forced them to close the website.
Because the way when you read that, the way that reads is that they didn't want their website down at all. Like, this is not their choice, and they didn't have anything to do with it, is what it sounds like to me. I could be wrong, but it sounds like they just, tried to go to their own website and realized it was gone. Or maybe, they got some emails like, hey, can't get to your website. What's going on? It doesn't sound like they had anything to do with this. Because when I first heard about the website being down, this is before this went up, I just figured they were like, oh, well, we're in trouble. We have to take it down. Maybe it'll lessen the blow. But it doesn't sound like that's what the case is here. So how does this happen? How does a company get another company's website taken down like that?
Yeah, actually, good comment from Matt Moran in the chat. Thank you for the song, by the way. Their host probably took it down. So maybe it wasn't even them at all. It was the host service took them down because of
the legal action. Yeah.
Whatever reason. I mean, it's still not legal. You can't just do that. I mean, unless they are breaking terms of service of their host. You can't just take it down. I mean,
when I got and think about that, because we're talking about terms of service of the host, but also laws in different countries. I mean, different parts of the world completely. Because like the copyright laws, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
The copyright laws don't. You can't use copyright laws from China to do anything. You know what I mean? They're different. The copyright laws are different in China than they are
which complicates
Japan,
things across
here.
borders. It complicates things across borders like this is, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, at that point, like, that would be kind of weird, I think, for, like, a host of a website to get involved in any way. Because, I mean, are they breaking any rules? Because technically they're not. Where they're from and what they are doing, it's perfectly legal to do what they're doing. They're not doing anything wrong.
Now who? MIG Switch or the distributor or who?
MIG Switch.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything according to
They're
the
also
law
not,
in
they're
their
also not
country,
getting sued.
they're fine.
They're also not getting sued. It's not them.
Right.
This is
so my
this is an
question
assault.
Why would
why
the host take that down the website then?
Well, as Matt said in the second a second after that, he said that they were going to get sued as well, the host of the website. But again, while I don't think Matt's wrong necessarily, because they may have tried to come after the host as well, it's obviously it's not even legal, right? It's not about the legality of it. It's about sending the message. And my guess is the distributor is going to win, unless there's something we don't know about. The distributor's going to win.
I bet they lose.
But what are the grounds of the lawsuit? Because what are they doing illegal? Especially the website. Now hold on, Drip, because the website, like they said in their Reddit post, they're not even selling the product on the website. There's no assets, Nintendo assets on the website. It's just a website. So, like, unless I'm missing something, which I very well could be, I would love to be educated. If you guys want to leave a comment down below what I'm missing, feel free. What are they doing illegal? What are the distributors distributing the product might be doing something illegal? They might be, that I don't know about. But as far as the website being taken down before the lawsuit even completes, what's illegally happening there? Like, what am I missing?
I mean, I don't know. You make a good point. Because technically, all they're doing is importing a product and then selling it on their website.
Yeah, and there could be something. There could be something more to it in the background that we don't know. But as far as that alone, that's not illegal.
It's not. I'm so used to Nintendo winning every single one of these by a landslide. And the big problem with it is Nintendo has the money to throw around. A lot of these small, I'm sure these companies don't have that type of money to just be like, oh yeah, we're going to go fight Nintendo in court. Yeah. That's going to be another big part of it. Do they want to put up the money to have a legal battle against Nintendo in court over something that, yeah, you're probably right. They would probably eventually win, but how long is that going to take? How many dollars are you going to put into defending yourself in the long run? Is it even worth it? I mean, I guess if you're talking jail time, huge fines, maybe it is. Maybe you'd break even either way. You're either going to pay the fines or you're paying the court costs, and you could win at that point. Yeah. But I mean, I think there's always that chance you lose too. I think if you settle out of court, you're probably not going to get jail time. Yeah. It's a gamble. I don't know.
I think there's a big chance here that this is just Nintendo throwing their body weight around in all directions, and they don't intend to win or lose. They're probably going to intend to settle that they stop selling the MIG Switch in the U.S. If I had to guess, that's what this is where this is going. Because as we know, Nintendo doesn't usually sue unless they're going to win, and I think this suit is not usual to the other suits. This suit is just so they can throw their weight around because they have so much to do that with, just to get this to settle. I feel and like the only thing they want is for these distributors to stop selling that product in this country. That's what they want. They can get it done, and that's going to hurt MIG Switch at the end. So that's that. If they can't sue MIG Switch directly because of the country they're in and their laws, they're going to make them bankrupt by not being able to sell in the U.S.
They're in Russia?
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, they're going to make them settle because they can't afford the legal fees.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You say you think this one is just like, oh, Nintendo. Like, when is Nintendo not just throwing their weight around at this stuff? Like, they are fucking bullies when it comes to this shit.
Yeah. Hey, side note, Drip, sorry. Live editing. Can you front center yourself, you fool? You are so off center.
How's that?
It's much better.
Sorry.
At some point, we're going to lose your entire body from the camera feed.
Oh, damn. I can't even see the camera. I'm sorry. All I see is my full my full screen. I looked like I was fine to me.
Not even close.
Let me see. Oh yeah, you got me in a little box over there. Okay. I'm back. I'm in. Don't worry about it. We're good.
By the way, the way we do this podcast, Drip, we're both in boxes side by side. If you didn't know that,
I did. I did actually know that.
You sounded surprised a second ago. You were in a box.
A little. I didn't think it was that bad, but here I am, back in the center.
Like we were about to lose your right eye too. Like we lost your left eye. We were about to lose your right eye. Anyhow,
hey, you gotta keep me straight with that, man. I don't
quite
know.
literally to keep you straight.
Exactly.
Anyway, any final thoughts there before we move on?
No, I mean actually, we talked about this a little bit too. There's already clones of the MIG Switch.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Yes,
like this is not going away. So my question is this: is Nintendo gonna go after every single one of these companies who makes one of these things, or is it gonna get so out of hand at some point with these things that there's so many people making them that they can't even keep up?
I think we have that example with us already. You can look at what's happening with the 3DS and the DS markets.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're dead, but there is a market out there for... Actually, it's not even just the 3DS and DS. It's more than that. It's all cartridges. Every Nintendo cartridge that they've ever produced has been re-engineered and being sold with ROMs on it today. Like, worse than what MIG Switch is doing. MIG Switch isn't selling the ROMs yet. But these companies...
Yeah, you can go on eBay and literally buy...
eBay? No, Drip. You can go on Amazon.
Okay,
Amazon.
I'm just saying, where I've seen them is eBay. Yeah, and you could buy, and it's not even the ones with a bunch of games on them. It's if you want like Spirit Tracks or something like that. It looks like Spirit Tracks. It's got a case like Spirit Tracks, but it's just a ripped ROM put on one of these
I quote unquote
cartridges.
Legally bought one off of Amazon. Like
it's illegal as hell.
Like there's nothing
illegal as hell.
Yeah, not to buy. It's not
to buy, but to sell.
Right. That's why.
Nuts.
I mean, side note here. I won't go off a big tangent. I swear. That's why I'm so. I'm not out here. I'm not out here a pirate. I'm not out here stealing games all the time, or even really at all. I swear. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have EmuDeck. I have EmuDeck on my Steam Deck, and I have ROMs that technically don't belong to me. But I stole none of them. And just
You're a pirate, Geeb!
I stole none of them. Either they were all given to me, whether that was from a website that is 100% legit, or like Amazon, where I bought Minish Cap on a Game Boy Advance cartridge with a Game Boy Advance label.
You are a pirate.
On it. On Amazon.com.
You surf the web under a black flag, Geeb.
Now you tell me, how am I allowed to buy that with no repercussions on Amazon.com? And how are they allowed to sell that?
Them being allowed to sell it is the absolute craziest
and then you
thing
sit
ever.
here and tell me that I can't use EmuDeck and get a ROM that somebody handed to me.
I know, it's nuts.
You know, I'm not out here stealing. There's nothing stealing. There's no stealing happening. I'm not hacking into Nintendo servers and downloading shit. Someone's just handing it to me, and I say thank you. I appreciate your generosity. You know, I'm not stealing anything.
But is it illegal to download those things?
But here's my point, Drip. These lines, they don't make any sense. I don't think the laws make sense either. If there is even laws for some of these things, they don't make sense. They're so gray. It's at that point they're transparently gray. They don't exist. They're like, if I can, that's the thing I'm gonna get stuck on, is if I can go to Amazon.com, buy my legally obtained toilet paper, my legally obtained toothpaste, and my legally obtained cartridge of Minish Cap for $20. How is that legal? But then on the website, they're like, hey, you can have this for free. There's no hacking. There's nothing. Here you go. It's the archive. Here you go. Feel free. If I walk down the street and somebody's handing out T-shirts and I take one, and I didn't know that 5 minutes ago they were at Walmart and then just nabbed them all. But I'm just walking down the street. Some guy's like, would you please take this T-shirt? I feel like you could use it. I would say, thank you very much. And I take my T-shirt and I keep walking. With the police come wee down the street at me saying, you can't take that T-shirt. You're going to jail. No. They should go after the person who's handing out the T-shirts.
I feel like there's some type of repercussion.
I don't think so, because you don't know that they're stolen.
I guess if you don't know, yeah.
How am I?
I don't know the laws, man. I don't know the laws.
How am I supposed to know this ROM that's on a website that is a legit website? It's not like some hacky website. It's just a website. And again, what's a hacky website? All these things, it's so gray. But you just go to a website and you're like, or even a friend. I mean, even a friend, which I'm not going to say who. But like a friend or friends with an S, they just hand you a ROM. They just give it to you. How is that any different than handing you a cartridge? Maybe the where they got it is nefariously got, but that doesn't mean that I can't have it. Just like the guy in the street giving me T-shirts. So anyway, all that to say. Also, another side note. I said it wouldn't be a big tangent. Now it is. Amazon sells shit, illegal, like not illegal. They sell fake shit. I know that Scott the Woz, if he would ever consider coming on our podcast, I would be so eternally grateful. But Scott the Woz, that's his name, yeah. Scott the Woz posted a video. I've mentioned to you this, just Drip. This is relevant to you. He bought SD cards for a camera, which is something that you have done in the past as well. I'm sure. If you go to Amazon.com, a completely quote unquote legal website,
fake, dude.
They are selling fake SD cards. Yeah. Now you might ask me, what's a fake SD card? A fake SD card is they're selling a 1 gigabyte SD card, which costs around $100 or more. And for cameras, they're more than that. They're like $200, $300 because they're
you get a fast
you
one,
need the fast speeds. So if they're like, it's like a $300 product that they're selling for like $30. It's right there on Amazon. You could go find it right now if you wanted to. Go find a 1 gigabyte card with good speeds for like $20. They're out there. And they have the branding. They've stolen branding from SanDisk. They've stolen all the information. They printed it out. It's completely a scam. And Scott the Woz bought a few of them, and they were fake. And he messaged he messaged Amazon customer support and said, "I got scammed. You're selling scams." Of course, they gave him the refund because Nintendo will give you. Amazon will give you a refund for anything you can steal from Amazon, and they'd still be happily to give you a refund. So they said, "Yeah, sure, we'll give you a refund, Scott, and we'll quote unquote look into the SD card issue." Guess what? He went back to the listing a couple weeks later. That same listing that he bought an SD card off of is still up 2 weeks later. And even if the next day after he checked, they took it down, that's unacceptable. That's 2 more weeks of them knowing that is a illegal scam on their website. It's like going to Walmart. It's like going to Walmart, picking up the ice cream, get home, then no ice cream in it. Then you go back to Walmart and you say, "There's no ice cream in this." And they go, "Sorry, here's your money back." And then you go back the next time to Walmart and it's there again, being sold again, and more people getting scammed. How is this legal? So don't come at me for calling me a pirate for being handed a ROM. I am against piracy, but I'm all for sharing. Okay? I'm all for it.
Whatever. You got a peg leg.
I don't have a single Nintendo.
You're a pirate.
I don't have a single Nintendo Switch game on my Steam Deck. Only things that are on my Steam Deck are things that I can't buy. I can't buy them.
I understand.
Or if I can buy them, I'd have them already. I've already bought them, and they're right behind me. Okay. That's where I stand. I will fight to the end.
I mean, I can't. I gotta. Like I said, every time we bring this up, I have an arcade machine with like 6,000 games on it. And
you were literally. You're that guy who's been handed a T-shirt. You were given that. You didn't even pay for it. You just literally were given it. Are you
that T-shirt? Yes.
Are you going to get arrested now? Like, that's ridiculous to even consider. It's ridiculous.
I might have the Nintendo Ninjas knocking down my door tonight. Who knows?
You're not, because it's ridiculous. They should be going after the people who are doing the stealing. And then after they get all of them, then they can go after the people if they want, if they have a legal argument, to go after the people who are sharing these stolen assets. Yeah, or just kindly ask to return them.
Nintendo gets crazy with it.
Yeah.
They get crazy with it. They're not going to stop. It's going to get worse before they're never going to stop doing it. They're very protective of their IPs.
To go back to MIG Switch and wrap it up. What even got me on this rant? There was a reason. All the cartridges that you can buy right now that the Nintendo can't stop. That's exactly it. There's a lot of cartridges for a lot of different Nintendo consoles. Actually, all of them that use cartridges that they're being sold today, and there's nothing Nintendo can do about it because I guess at this point there's too many of them. Who knows what the exact reason is?
That was the question. Is this going to get out of hand enough to where Nintendo's not going to be able to keep up with it?
Yes,
probably.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not this year. Probably not this year. Probably not next year.
Because we've got one clone coming out of this thing right now. We've got the MIG Switch, then the clone. But how many other clones in the background right now are being made? And maybe not even ones that have an SD card slot in them. Ones that are fully internal, and they're like, we can just put a game on here and act like it's a real game.
Yeah.
Sell it. Make money. Especially when they stop selling these games. That's the thing. They stop selling these games they stop putting them out in stores, you can't buy these physical copies, and these people can make those physical copies, and they look exactly like it, and most people won't even know.
Most of the time, they work the same. Now, I knew for my $20 for Minish Cap, I knew that what risk I was taking because I've heard that some of them don't save properly, some of them have glitches.
Yeah, some of them you'll run into problems, and if something happens inside, you're basically done. It's over.
But just buy another one. They're $20. Just buy another one. You know what I mean? Like, it's silly. Anyway, I'm done with that now. Sorry, I got a beer in me and I got all mad.
It's all right. It's okay. It's fine.
Let's move on. Not getting slashed. I have one beer. That's all I got. Moving on to Nintendo and the Switch 2. Now, Drip. Before we do that, I got one thing to say.
What?
This podcast has a sponsor this week.
Does it?
Yeah. You know who sponsors this podcast?
Oh, yeah. The Communication Error podcast is sponsoring this podcast.
That is correct. Another rival podcast is sponsoring this podcast.
Yes, that's right. Forgot about that.
We should have said this earlier. My apologies to them and everybody listening. We were guests on the Communication Error podcast. They're a not Nintendo podcast. They're a gaming podcast. So, of course, the two of them are big Nintendo fans. So we had a conversation over there about sports games. If you guys want to hear that conversation, it's not in the link as of the live stream, but as the video and the audio people, that link should be there by then. I'll link the episode that we were in. So make sure to go check it out and support those guys. Drop them a follow on
great
YouTube.
Guys. They're awesome.
Drop them a follow on YouTube. Leave them a 5-star review on their podcast app of choice, on your podcast app of choice, and support those guys. They're good guys, good friends of ours. We've been hanging out with them, at least Johnny. We've been hanging out with him every Friday. I have. Let me clarify. Me and Johnny have been hanging out pretty much every Friday, playing some games, and Cheesy and Drip are flaky.
Hey, we're there when we can be there, you know? Sorry.
You guys hanging out with people you love and shit, whatever. Get out of here.
I mean, dude, I'm just hanging out. Sometimes I just don't want to stream. I don't know. It happens.
No, it's all good. But seriously, I'm sure in the future we'll play more games with all four of us at the future. But anyway, we did a podcast with them. Go check it out. It was a good time.
It was a good time.
Thank you for Communication Error Podcast for sponsoring today's episode.
Yeah.
And Drip, is not sponsoring today's episode?
Who? Geeb? Who?
Well, everybody. But Nintendo.
Okay, yeah, probably not. Probably not.
No. But the Switch 2, guys, the Switch 2, it's coming. We know it's coming. Nintendo knows it's coming. They told us it was coming, and they even gave us a time frame of when to expect some information.
Nice.
And one thing about that, Drip, is demand for the system. It's going to be high. There's going to be a lot of people who want this system.
Probably, yes. That's like the biggest question about all of it. We'll get into it. But yeah, is it going to be in demand? It might be. I would say probably, maybe not. I don't know. We'll get into that part.
Yeah.
The biggest thing here is they were asked about the scalping.
Yes.
And all the things we saw with the PS5.
Oh, God,
and the Xbox Series X, all of that was
Can
a
you
mess.
bring us some numbers right now on specifically the PS5? I think you have those numbers.
Okay.
Drip is the man of numbers tonight.
I have lots of numbers. Basically, just to get into the rest of this story so you guys know what we're talking about, Nintendo has said that they are going to bring enough stock when the Switch 2 is released that we will not have to worry about scalpers. But I think we're probably still going to have to worry about scalpers. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot they can do to fix that unless they really just completely flood the market.
Well,
now, right now,
theoretically, Drip, that's very possible they could just flood the market. It's not.
They could. We don't have a chip shortage anymore.
And it doesn't have to be flooded at once. They can do like 4 different floods, like small floods, to keep the supply. Like it could still go out of stock. That's okay. We can have the Switch go out of stock for like a week, and then it's back the next week, and it's available for a month, and then it's done again. Then it's out of stock for a week, and then it's back and it's there for a month. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be like all at one go. They don't need to ship.
No, you're right. You're right. And they could do it like that, but I want to just tell you, okay, the number that they're talking about right now is 10 million units.
All right.
As far as for launch and getting them out there and making sure people are going to have them the first, they're going to try to have 10 million units, okay?
All right.
Which is a lot. That's a lot. Now, I just to give you an idea, I have some numbers here from the Nintendo Switch sales just from, we'll say, from the time of launch until 2018. So this is 1 year, okay? And I want you to remember this. This is not when the Switch was crazy popular. Everyone was loving it. Yeah, it was really starting to pick up steam. Things were going good. Obviously, in the later, few years, it really, really picked up. But 1 full year being out, they sold 15.5 million units. Okay?
Okay.
That's with it not even being popular. I want you to think about something. Right now, Nintendo is probably, they're as popular as they've ever been right now with the stuff that they do. The Switch, as it sits right now, or the last time we heard about it, is sitting at 141.3 million units sold.
Okay.
141 million people.
Yeah.
Just, what I'm sure some people have multiple Switches. Obviously, I have multiple Switches. You have multiple Switches.
Yeah.
Not 141 million people, but damn close to that have a Switch and are interested in Nintendo right now and the games that they're putting out.
I will quickly comment that I do believe that does even out at some point. Maybe not all the way, but there's some families who have one Switch, but there's 5 players in the house. So, it could even out.
Okay, that's fair. Either way. Now, we can probably gather that not every single one of these 141 million people are going to want to get a Switch 2 at launch, especially those really late adopters, people who have got a Switch now. You know what I mean?
I would say not even close to that. It's not even close to that.
Not even close to that.
Not the beginning, yeah.
With backwards compatibility also being a thing, I feel like that is another incentive to just, why not upgrade? Not like you're losing anything. Not like I want to hold on to this library. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Goes right over. We don't know for sure that it's backwards compatible. But we have a pretty good idea at this point from the leaks and the things that we've seen happen that we pretty much know this thing's going to be backwards compatible.
For sure.
So, I've got some more stuff to tell you about here, but the basic question of all this is, 10 million units at launch. Is that enough? Because I don't think it is.
Well, let me first answer a question.
Enough.
A good question we got from the chat in case you guys out there are also asking yourself the same question. Who said this? Minigamer, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. How would flooding the market help? Meaning, how would flooding the market help the problem of scalpers? And that's what scalpers thrive on, is a lack of product out there, because what they do is they buy up the stock that is existing, and if there's not much stock out there, they buy up a good portion of that stock, and then guess who's the real seller of the system? Not the retailers. They've been bought up
on eBay.
They've been bought up by the scalpers. It's the people selling them on eBay, the scalpers, who then take up what's remaining and they upcharge it, and that's the retail store now, is eBay. That happened big time with the PlayStation.
I could give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
The PS5.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is absolutely nuts, and I want to find this and make sure that I have it correct. Just give me 1 second here.
Sure.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
Now, back when the PS5 went up for pre-order, it sold as many units in pre-order in the first 12 hours as the PlayStation 4 sold in pre-orders in the first 12 weeks.
Wow. Now, that's a situation of the PS market at that time was clamoring for the PS5.
But that's the thing, man. Look at the Nintendo community right now. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants a Switch 2. Like that, people are like, we have gone with this thing for what, 8 years now?
Yeah.
Okay, it's time. The hardware's old. It's slow. It's not even close to everything else. People, like, this is the type of thing that we can see. Crazy pre-orders. And even in the pandemic, when all this stuff was going on, when all this stuff was happening, Sony still managed to get out 4.5 million PS5s in 2020 with the chip shortage.
Yeah.
Obviously not nearly enough, but that's kind of what I'm going back to here. Scalpers bought a lot of those, and they were buying multiple, and then they'd put them on eBay. Instead of being, $500, they're $1,000.
Oh yeah,
$1,200.
Yeah, exactly.
And they went on sale. They launched in November. So every parent trying to get one who couldn't get one is turning to eBay and paying double the price, triple the price to get one for their kid for Christmas. I mean, it's a lucrative business if you want to do it. It's fucked up, but I mean, it's you can make some crazy money doing it. That's for sure. But that's the problem.
I do think we live in a bit of a bubble, though, Drip, you and I, and probably a lot of you listening. I don't think it's going to be quite as intense as that PS5 one. That those numbers there. I mean, 12 hours versus 12 weeks is crazy.
Yeah, I think you're wrong. I think I can prove it too.
Go ahead.
Okay. From launch from the launch of the system. Okay, this is going to be kind of hard to explain because it's a weird chart.
Yeah.
Launch of the system, 43 what are we at?
Switch.
Okay, 43 months. Okay, from the launch of the system to 43 months out. I've got a chart here showing me worldwide sales of the Switch, the PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series S and X. Xbox Series S and X are low. They're not even on the chart. But I can tell you at every single point on this chart, especially in the later years when Nintendo really started to pick up steam, it's still crushing the PS5.
Yeah.
And we're talking about all those same pre-orders, all those same things that happened with all that hype and everything that happened with the PlayStation 5. This chart right here is telling me that Nintendo has been and still is more popular and selling better than the PlayStation 5. There was one point on this chart where they were close, where they were right neck and neck. And actually, in the very beginning of the PlayStation 5, it looks like they actually did squeak ahead for maybe they were selling more in the first 7 months. But that's, like I said, that 15 million we talked about.
Yeah.
That was before the Switch got super popular.
Yeah.
They are on another planet right now with their sales as far as you can see.
This late in the game?
Yeah. Like, it's not even close.
I have a few theories. If I remember all of them by the end of my rant, I'll be thankful.
You could do it. Go.
I already forgot some.
Yes, nailed it.
The biggest theory is that now I'm not saying these people don't exist. Okay.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, people listening. I swear, I'm not saying that there aren't, quote unquote, true gamers. Big people who just love the game for the love of the game. Gamers who, But what I'm saying is the PlayStation market is a different market than the Switch market. The PlayStation market is for a few different people, but mainly generalizing the market for PlayStation. It's for intense gamers who want the best experience possible
from a console,
and other people who just love the most high fidelity possible, but don't have enough for a PC. Those people exist. Also, another category of those people, Sony people who just love what Sony puts out. Sony fans. Sony PlayStation fans. That's who. That's that market. And they're very intense, and there's a lot of them, and they really want the console. Those numbers are self-explanatory of that assessment. That's crazy. Oh yeah, nostalgia people, of course. People who had old PS1, PlayStation consoles who want the newest one as well. All those contribute and can parallel as well with Nintendo. But Nintendo's market's much different and honestly broader. That's why Nintendo's so successful. I mean, look at the size of the company Nintendo.
Yeah.
Versus
their games are for everyone.
The size of Nintendo as a company versus Sony and Microsoft, it's laughable how big of a difference that those companies are. The companies. Yeah. It's massive. Sony is massive compared to Nintendo. Microsoft is another universe on top of massive versus Nintendo as far as size of company.
Oh, even Sony.
Yeah. But Nintendo, what you just said, Drip, they're for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
They're for little kids. PlayStation's not. We're disconnecting. OBS disconnecting. We still live? Are we still good? 10805. I remember that number. Are we still good, chat? Reconnect successful. Are we still good? I don't think we ever stopped. Let me know,
still
chat.
Live. We're back. All right.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys being here. Let me know. Okay. That was weird. Picking up where I came from. Nintendo's for everyone, okay?
Yeah.
Nintendo for everyone.
Agree.
That is the little kids. And again, it does cross over. Okay. So people come at me with saying like, there are little kids. My 4-year-old plays PlayStation. It crosses over, but we're generalizing the markets because that's what you have to do to talk about this stuff. So generally, Nintendo is for like a little kid who's 4 years old, like my nephew when he started playing Switch. Switch Lite, perfect for him. It's for 80-year-old people who want to waggle Switch Sports around. That's a thing. It's happening in old folks' homes, I guarantee it. They're probably still playing the Wii's more likely, but it's still a thing. It's for the old people too. There's Mario Party. Your parents, 60 years old, upwards, they're still playing Mario Party with their children and their grandchildren. It's still happening. It's for middle-aged people. No offense, Drip. You're close to that. Close-ish. I'm not too far behind you, but we're a little bit far. Anyway, it's for people middle-aged, 40s, 50s. Yeah. It's for everyone.
It's for everyone. Literally everyone. There's not a... Yeah, you're right.
Generally, you can't say that for PlayStation and Microsoft. Generally. Because the Switch has another advantage. Mobile. That's the biggest one. That is the biggest separation between Nintendo and the other gaming companies right now.
Yeah.
Switch Lite, the Switch Lite is less powerful than the controller of the PS5, dude. The PS5 controller is more tech in it than a Switch Lite. Of course, I'm making that up, but it's honestly not too far off. If you open them up,
there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on with the PlayStation 5 controller, and the Switch Lite will look kind of silly in comparison. And that's a full console, okay?
Yeah, I mean,
and it's small and it's perfect for little kids, and it's there. All
Act
this
like you're not buying that Zelda Switch Lite.
Oh my god, I'm doing everything I can to sell my 3DS right now. But anyhow, it's for everyone, and the other ones are not for everyone. They're for a lot of people, but they're not for everyone. Nintendo can hit everyone, but that mobile portion is really key for Nintendo. Very key.
The hybrid system. They really, obviously, we all know this now. As far in as we are now, we know, yes, the hybrid thing worked. Because not only did it bring them back from the dead, 141 million units sold, but it got everybody back on the trend of stealing what Nintendo was doing and doing it better.
Yeah. So all
these handheld PCs out here, yeah. I mean,
all of what I just said, to wrap it up, what I just said. Why did I say that?
I don't know. I don't know where you're going with this. I was following you.
The sales. That's what I'm going with. Sorry, everything's been distracting me. My dog came down scared of the thunder. The internet.
Is it thunder or is it?
I'm sorry,
fireworks.
The fireworks. That's what I meant. The fireworks.
I heard the same thing outside.
The sales. Why Nintendo is still doing so crazy right now? It's because like little kid who just turned 5, who 3 years ago was hardly born, let alone playing games. Now, 3 years later, he's like, "Can I have a play console?" Nintendo is generating new market every year, like new gamers. Now, you could say that again. Generally, you could say that about everybody, of course, but generally, because of the younger audience and that, or the nostalgic audience, but Nintendo has that by a wide margin. There's more nostalgic gamers for Nintendo than anywhere else. I mean, just look around.
The numbers on their games back that up.
That's an opinion, of course, but I mean, I don't have any data to back that up.
That's not an opinion. That's a fact.
It is an
opinion. Look at the
opinion.
numbers on their games. Any other AAA company that makes games is happy to sell 3 million units, 4 million units. Any Ubisoft game that sells 3, 4, 5 million units, they are fucking pumped about that. So Tears of the Kingdom, 20 million units.
Let me just say this, Drip. Anybody walking in a store right now, a Walmart, a Target, anywhere they sell Switches, Best Buy, when you pass by, like generally, a general couple, or just a non-binary, whatever couple, just insert couple or insert person or whatever, just anybody walking down the aisle of the Switch and seeing it, that is for them. Whether they buy it or not, it's a different story, but that's why the Switch is so powerful. That's why it's selling so much, because anybody can walk down and go, I could use that. Or if you walk down PlayStation, it is $500. It is only one use, plug into a TV, a lot of features that they don't care about for the general audience. That's why Nintendo's crushing it. It's a better console. Hold on, Drip. Hold the phone. Did I just say the Switch is a better console than a PlayStation? You're crazy, Geeb. You're a fanboy. You're insane. Blah, 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 blah.
It's just more accessible. It's more accessible to everybody. It makes it so much easier to buy.
Look at the numbers. Look at
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 61 million. Animal Crossing New Horizons, 45 million. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 34 fucking million copies. These other companies are happy to sell 3, 4, 5 million copies of their games. Nintendo has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have 9 of their first-party games. 9. Over 20 million units sold. 9 of their games have sold over 20 million units.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nuts. If you want to get back down to the 4, 5 million, we're all the way down at, here you go. Link's Awakening, the remake, Link's Awakening, 6.4 million. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, 7.5 fucking million copies, dude. And that's their bullshit. That's their bullshit.
They have.
That's not even their hard hit. Like, they're heavy hitters.
Now, it's subjective, just like taste. But they have better games and they have a better console. And that's why they're selling more games right now. You can make fun of it all you want, that it's less powerful than the other ones, and this and that. It is. You're right. You could say all those things and you could be right. But what you would be wrong about is saying it doesn't deserve to, or it has no business doing what it's doing. That's where you're wrong about. And I am looking at this from a non-fanboy perspective. I am capable, and Drip could back me up on this, I'm very capable of looking at this from a middle ground. Also, the fact that I used to be an Xbox fanboy, and I admit that big time.
Were that guy.
I was that guy playing Madden, playing Call of Duty back in 2010, eating my Cheetos, who would laugh at the Wii U, or really the Wii at that point. That was the Wii era. Who laughed at it? Honestly, I still laugh at the Wii.
I was gonna say it's fair to laugh at the Wii. That's
but I was that guy. I was that guy. I admit that. I'm not ashamed of it either. It was the time. In high school, that was what I did. My friends, we played Xbox. When I was a little kid, I owned a PlayStation 1. My brother has all of our copies at his house. All of our games, our system, which is now a replacement one because it broke. I'm very capable of looking at this from middle ground. I'm very capable of it. Saying all of what I'm saying right now with a shelf full of Nintendo, okay? I'm capable of it. And I promise you, the Switch is just better. And that's not like a slanderous... I'm not saying that in a slanderous way. I'm saying that from the numbers and the facts.
Yeah, I just gave you a ton of them. Now, a few other things here. I don't think 10 million units is going to be enough. That's my perspective on this. I don't think 10 million units at the beginning is going to be enough. I think that the pre-orders alone are going to be something we've never seen. I think it's going to be crazy because I do, as much as everyone says, "Oh, the gaming industry is dying," and everyone is getting laid off. They are. But guess who's not doing that? Nintendo. They're not doing that. They don't need to do that.
No.
Because they're absolutely crushing it right now. I honestly think that the sales of this thing are going to be crazy from the get-go. The pre-orders are going to be nuts. I don't think 10 million is enough. Now, we'll come back around to that, but I do want to talk about this too. They are saying, and they're not saying exactly what they're going to do, but they say they will take other measures depending on the region to try to get rid of the scalpers online.
What does that mean?
I don't know if they're talking about buying the systems or just finding people selling them for crazy prices online. So what could they even do? I don't even know where they could go with this. How are they going to stop it?
You just mentioned two big ones, the only two I can think of. Stopping the sellers or stopping the buying of
But how
scalpers.
do they do either one of those is my question.
I don't know.
Because no one else has seemed to be able to stop any of this ever. I mean, look at the sneaker market. Dude.
Well, can I make the argument too that I don't believe anyone else has been interested in it. Now, you could say all you want, by Sony had no choice and Xbox had no choice and the systems got sold. I think they loved it. Let me tell you something, Drip. Because they got their money either way. They got their bag either way. They don't care. Number one. Number two, I think they loved it. Because the scalping was creating the more demand because they were getting all of the money from the consoles that they were producing and all of the credit for selling them while also seeing the demand just go up and up and up and up because the secondary market prices were going up and up and up and up. And that means more fans were like, oh, salivating at the chance of picking up PS5.
I mean, I was. I
We
didn't get
all
one
were
for a
guilty at
while.
one point. You especially, because you actually did end up getting one. I
Yeah,
never
well, I
did.
didn't
but we
pay
were
any crazy
all
price for
guilty.
it.
We were all guilty. I'm guilty.
Yeah, I wanted one.
I'm guilty
Who didn't
of
want
it.
to play Miles Morales? I was dying.
I'm guilty of it for the Switch because Mrs. Geeb and I fell victim of
Oh
scalpers.
yeah, you got yours in 2020, right?
We bought our Switch in 2020, and it's
Because they did have a problem back then. They
did.
The Switch was on the secondary market back then,
Yeah.
but that was all because of the chip shortage. I don't think 10 million is enough. I think they should like double that. Honestly.
Now, I'm not saying here. Now it might sound like I'm being another fanboy again because now he's saying not only are they better, but now he's saying that they have more morals. I'm not saying Nintendo morally doesn't want this to happen.
No. It's the same thing as the MIG Switch stuff. It's the same thing as everything else.
Protecting their assets,
shit and
controlling.
control. Yeah. Yeah. It's not coming in to save anybody from. No, we don't want you to have. No, they're not going to take control of our product and sell it for a price that we
didn't sell.
We say what the price is. That's the reason
it's
they'll do it.
different business moral values.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's that old school Japanese business mentality is what it is.
And Microsoft and Sony were like, "Fuck it, we're getting the money either way, and all you're doing is driving our demand up. So thank you very much, scalpers." And the websites, the distributors, the websites, the Sony, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, all of them, they did nothing to stop it, and they not even the little measures. Like here's a big way you can stop scalping. Here's a big way: stop the online pre-orders. Stop it. Stop the online pre-orders is not a fix. But that helps so much because that means all the bots people use to buy this stuff is useless. You have to walk into a retailer to buy the system. They did not do any of that. Their demand was high enough that they were not going to lose a dime doing that. They weren't going to lose a dime if they said no online sales for our systems. Nothing. You have to go into a store and buy it. That was only going to help the retail stores because, of course, that's more business for them, foot traffic for them. And again, Microsoft, Sony, getting the money either way. They could have easily done that and say no online sales. The demand was so high that there was not going to prevent anybody from buying the systems. Plus the fact that the systems sale, there were so little systems out there that the little ones that they had to sell could have easily just been sold at a store. Black Friday every week when there was a new drop. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's certain things you can do for online sales.
Just one example. Just one example.
I mean, you can limit it to one per customer, and that is per email. And I mean, there's a way to do it if you're shipping them to one address, whatever. If you have another address, that's fine. But they should have systems in place to where it's like, okay, one per customer, which means this one goes to this house. And once this email has been used and that address, that's it. And okay, yeah, maybe you can go over to, Target.com and get another one, and go to Walmart and get another one. But it's still at that point, at least you're severely limiting the amount that people can get at one time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's the big problem. These guys were buying, they had those websites. People were online, going crazy. But look, I just got 50 PS5s. Yeah. And some of those orders weren't getting canceled until later into the life cycle of all this stuff, where they started people were really putting it online a lot. Some of these stores would start canceling the orders. Like, no, you're not going to do that. But they fulfilled some of them. I mean, that's on them.
A lot of them.
I just don't know how.
I think you can just make the argument that at least I can make the argument that Sony and Microsoft had no interest either way. I don't think they cared about the scalping. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't think they did either. I think like you said, I think you're probably right. Nintendo takes this in the way not of
morals. It's not like, oh, we're better than you.
It's not morals. It's you're not going to sell our product for a price we didn't put on it.
It's simply put control. They're not going to allow somebody else to control their market. It's their market.
100% control.
What a great conversation we had off these two topics, Drip. I fucking love it. We got food. I got a McDonald's delivery. That's a great time to wrap up the show. Hey.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Geeb. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. This has been a joy. If you're listening on audio side of things, we're going to wrap up for now. If you're in the stream, don't go anywhere. I'll be eating my McDonald's and hanging out with you guys in the after show. Also, just FYI, my dogs, both of them at this point, have come down and under this desk right here, panting and scared of the fireworks, and I feel so bad.
Yeah, they're really starting to go nuts outside.
I've been petting them throughout the duration of this show. I wasn't leaning back for funsies, guys. My dog was back here scared as fuck, so I'm just patting his little popo, as we say. But yeah, guys, we're going to wrap up the audio side of things here. We're going to hang out in the after show in the stream, so if you stick around, if you're there. For those of you listening to audio side of things, you can make sure to follow Drip on his YouTube channel. We're posting a video, 2 days from now, Drip, on Saturday?
It's uploaded. I still need to make a thumbnail, do all the little things.
That's right.
Who knows? It might go up tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah, you make your YouTube videos over there. I edit them for you. It's a harmonious relationship.
It is. It's great. It's wonderful.
And as far as what I do on my side of stuff, I'm kind of in charge of this podcast. Drip brings the knowledge. I bring the muscle and
exactly
the bad reading.
I bring that too. That's why I don't do it that much. It's fine.
Yes. So again, I stream live on Twitch every single week. So make sure you're hanging over there. Especially those in the live stream. If you like live stream hangouts, Twitch, I do it every week. We did it this Monday. We're probably gonna do it again tomorrow for Friday.
What's going on tomorrow? What's the game tomorrow?
I don't know. I think Johnny's still fluctuating whether he's going to be there or not. My guess is he will not be there. So I kind of want to do more.
Will be.
I kind of want to do Ocarina again. I kind of like what we did last week. I might even invite Hero as well, and the three of us will just like watch me play some games.
I mean, I don't.
And then we'll play some more games after that.
Kids are gone on vacation, so I just hanging out. I ain't got shit to do.
Yeah. So if you guys are watching, or if you guys are listening on audio side of things, or watching the YouTube VOD, so make sure to follow over there for every Mondays and Fridays. We're going live on my Twitch every Monday and Friday. So make sure to hang out there. Drip, thanks for the episode, man. It was a great one. Great. I did not think we'd get this deep on these topics because you and I had both said beforehand, like, we're not sure if this is good enough, but we're gonna kind of roll with it. And
I mean, it was, but
we always find something to talk about. We always find something to talk about. That's what I love about our show. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.